If you're looking for your forever home in Montreal, the question is not what to buy, it's where to buy. And I'm not going to give you a generic list of neighborhoods with walk scores that you can just find on Google. Today, I'm going to tell you what it is actually like to live in 5 Montreal neighborhoods, who lives there, what the real prices look like, and what is good, as well as what's not so good about each one. The stuff you only know if you've spent years working these neighborhoods. I'm Aguinaga, your Montreal real estate expert for over 17 years in this city. I've sold homes in every neighborhood we're about to talk about. I've raised a family here. I know which streets flood, which parks are packed on weekends, and which coffee shops are worth the wait. Let me give you the real tour. Let's go. Let's start off with the town of Mount Royal, TMR. This is one of the most exclusive addresses on the city. It's also one of the least talked about on social media, which quite honestly, it's part of its charm. What you get here in TMR is wide, peaceful streets lined with mature trees, beautiful detached homes with real yards, and a town center that has restaurants and shops. It really has a village feel to it, all while being in the middle of Montreal. Outstanding municipal services, incredible sports facilities, a wonderful community center, and some of the best public schools on the island. There's a reason why families move here tend to stay for decades. Price reality. The average home sells for just under $1.9 million, according to the Census data. This attracts affluent buyers who are looking for space, privacy, and really the quality of life without the flashiness of Westmount. Think of it as understated wealth. The honest downside? It's a bit too residential. For some people, that's exactly the point. For others, it feels a little bit too sleepy. It's got a lot less restaurant options when compared to NDG or Outremont. And the reality is, competition here is fierce because there's limited inventory. The reality is, most people who buy don't end up leaving. We just finished TMR, now we're heading over to Outremont, and we're going to show you some of the beautiful parts that Outremont has to offer. Outremont is Montreal's version of old world elegance. It has always been one of the most prestigious addresses in the city, but recently the buyer profile has been changing. It used to be old money francophone families. However, now it's becoming wealthy millennials, dual income families in their mid-30s, and people who are really just looking for the lifestyle, the prestige, and the quality of life. What you get? Stunning architecture, stately homes, grand plexes with character, some of the best parks on the island, including Parc Outremont and Parc Beauby. Bernard Avenue and Laurier West have high-end boutiques, restaurants, and bakeries, top-tier French schools, both public and private, and you are a 10-minute bike ride from downtown. Price reality? This is a premium. Single-family homes average just over $2 million, and condos are sitting right around $900,000. Yeah, that's $900,000 for a condo. Now, Census data states that this is almost 1.5 times the Montreal average, making it on the higher end of things, obviously. However, properties do not sit long here. There is always demand. The honest downside? Well, it's expensive. But beyond price, the housing stock is older. So that means you're gonna need a really thorough inspection. Think electrical, plumbing, foundation, all these things are gonna be critical. Beyond that, street parking is very competitive. So if the home doesn't have a garage, plan accordingly. We're now in NDG, specifically the Monkland Village area. If I had to pick one neighborhood that offers the best balance of lifestyle, value, and upside for young families, this might be it. What you get? Character homes, brick duplexes, semi-detached, some detached with real backyards, mature trees on every street. Monkland Avenue is one of the best commercial strips in Montreal. Independent restaurants, cafes, grocery shops, all walkable. Excellent schools, both in English and French. Good metro access at Villa Maria and Vendôme, plus bus routes running along Sherbrooke. Price reality. Single-family homes will go in the $1 to $1.6 million range, depending on size and condition. Now, that's a fraction of Westmount, which is literally right across the boulevard. Duplexes, on the other hand, will go in the $1 to $1.4 million range, and that's super interesting because you get to live in one unit and rent out the other for income, or keep it for extended family. The honest downside, parking can be brutal, especially in winter. Some streets are incredibly narrow. The western side of NDG is very far from public transit, making a car a must. And finally, gentrification has been moving quickly here. What was a value play 5 years ago is becoming out of reach quickly. We're now somewhere completely different, Verdun, specifically the Wellington Street corridor and everything near the waterfront. These areas have had one of the most dramatic transformations in all of Montreal. Come check it out. What you get, a real neighborhood with real character. Wellington Street now has some of the best restaurants and coffee shops on the island. The riverfront is gorgeous. Walking paths, parks, waterfront access. There's a mix of older duplexes with character and newer condo developments. Tons of public transit options, and compared to the Plateau or Mile End, you get significantly more space for your money. Price reality. In Verdun, single-family homes and duplexes range in the $900,000 to $1.3 million range. Condos are in the $400,000 to $600,000 range. Now, for the young family that wants to have that urban lifestyle without paying Outremont prices, this is probably the best value proposition in the city right now. The honest downside, it's still gentrifying, which means block by block variation. One street can feel polished, the next can feel rough. Do your homework. Walk the area at different times of day. Some older buildings have deferred maintenance. And if you're buying a condo, check the reserve fund carefully. Some of the newer buildings cut corners. We can't do a forever home video in Montreal without showcasing Westmount. Westmount is the epitome of luxury living in the city. And on that same note, we can't do a video on Westmount without showcasing the incredible view from Summit Circle. Check it out. What you get, some of the most beautiful architecture in Canada. We've got these grand stone homes, manicured lawns, beautiful tree-lined streets. Everything is just absolutely spectacular here. To boot, you have some of the best public and private schools in the entire province, and you're super close to Green Avenue and Sherbrooke, which has upscale shopping and wonderful restaurants to enjoy. Above and beyond all of that, you're located walking distance to downtown, which is something very rare for a neighborhood that's this quiet. Price reality in Westmount. The lower and the flats of Westmount for a semi, you're looking at about $1.5 million. The second we start getting into upper Westmount, as we go up the mountain, you'll be in that $2 to $5 million range and beyond. And the reality is, Westmount has the highest price per square foot in all of Montreal. The honest downside, property taxes are among the highest on the island. The older homes, while gorgeous, can be expensive to maintain. Heating costs, roof repairs, masonry work, and the welcome tax on a $3 million purchase price is significant. Now let's head back to the office to discuss how you should choose your neighborhood. So how do you actually choose? After almost 18 years of helping families find their forever home, here is what I've learned. Forget the rankings, forget what your friends bought. Start with 3 questions. 1, what is your non-negotiable for your family? For some people it's schools, for others it's the backyard, for others it's walkability to restaurants and culture. Know your deal breakers before you start looking. 2, what is your honest budget? Not your maximum, your comfortable budget. The one where you can still travel, save, and enjoy life. Because a forever home that you cannot afford to live in is not a forever home. 3, where do you see yourself in 10 years? If the answer involves teenagers who need more space or aging parents who might move in, plan for it now. Buying once is always cheaper than buying twice. Montreal is one of the most beautiful cities in the world to own a home in. Every neighborhood we talked about today has something special. The right one depends on you, your family, your lifestyle, and your budget. Your future here. If you want to go deeper on any of these neighborhoods, or if there's one I didn't cover that you're curious about, book a call and I will give you the real picture. Not the centrist listing version, the LJ version. Again, I'm LJ Aguinaga from LJ Realties. This is a city I know, and I would love to help you find your place in it. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and share this with somebody who is looking for the next home in Montreal. See you on the next one.